Hi everyone, this is Mercedes, and my first quote from this week's readings is by the first Shriner article, in which she said, "And therein lies the privilege implicit in grit." This quote, for me, kind of made me think of not just being implicit bias, but implicit in privilege, meaning that those people who have like some advantages or benefit to receive, you know, more things, but without being consciously aware of it. So I thought of something in a book I read a while back ago, where they use the term invisible knapsack, where when someone is carrying that invisible knapsack, um, they have these advantages that other individuals don't have, and they're carrying this on themselves, and it's a part of their social identity. So when reading that, thinking of that quote, that's what that made me think of, that invisible knapsack, so to speak. The second quote was in the Duckworth article, where she said, "The gritty individual approaches achievement as a marathon. His or her advantage is stamina." Now, it's funny, when in her YouTube video as well, she also mentioned about grit and living life um, like it's a marathon and not a sprint. So more or less for me is thinking that you go about your life day to day, and, you know, as anyone who's, if you've run, if you have been in a marathon, you try to start off slow and then progressively, increase speed, as to not tire yourself out right away, and then you gain momentum and then make it towards that finish line. So in that way, I can understand that, because you don't want to just you know, do a little sprint, but you also don't want to rush right into it as well, because if you rush, you could, you know, do something really bad, not only to yourself, but to others. Um, at least this way, if you're gaining that momentum, taking it, not taking it in stride, but going, and then finally making it through. And that's probably a better way, I feel, of also, learning, in a sense, that you're absorbing all of this knowledge, and then little by little, you're applying these theories, things that you're picking up, and then, applying it, whether it's in a paper, whether it's in your practice, if you're teaching in a classroom, or you're using it to advise your students. You're picking up this momentum, and you're like, okay, I got this now. So that's what that quote was making me think of. This idea of having grit as an adult and showing that perseverance of effort, um, and being able to have that consistency of interest, that engagement with others, um, cultivating that grit makes one to adopt a growth mindset. If the individual has a belief in their abilities, it can be nurturing, and they can develop it through increased effort of their learning from their mistakes.